Okay, so I meant to make this video last week, but we're going to go ahead and do it now. So a lot of you are doing some stuff that are going to require a little bit more deformation than the rig will allow, or possibly even some deformation in the environment. So I want to show you about blend shapes. So what I have here is just a sphere. I'm going to duplicate it a couple times using Control D and just getting a couple different versions of the sphere. Okay, and so and I've just named that ball, and we got ball 1, 2, and 3. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some changes to this. So one of the things there's a lot of different ways we could do this. Obviously, we could just go in here and grab whole sets of faces, move them around, right? Rotate them. But anything that we're doing on the sub-object level, so on these polygons or faces, we can also use soft select within the selection tools here. And if I grab, let's say, a vertice, put this up to something like 1, let's put a little bit lower than that, say 0.2, 0.5, you'll be able to see that my soft select is sort of a fall off of that radius, and so I can get some slight changes on that. I could even make this a little higher if I wanted to, 0.7. And so we can make all sorts of different changes with the soft select. Another option, something like that. So yeah, these are just things I'm doing, but it's nothing particularly different about this topology. I've just put the faces and the vertices in a slightly different position than they are on this sphere. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a blend shape deformer on this sphere that will allow it to deform into each of these objects, or a combination of them. So if I just click these, I'm just going to do them in reverse order, and you're going to select the sphere that is going to have the blend shape on it last. Okay, and then under our animation tools, our animation menu, we're going to go to create deformer, choose blend shape. We can name this if we wanted to. We could do ball blends. And then I'm just going to hit create. Okay, so you'll see that in the outliner here, or sorry, in the channel box here, and under inputs we have ball blends now, and we have those three different balls that we had. And if we crank those values up, you'll see that it deforms into that new shape. So we're blending straight into what is ball 3 there. Now we can do a percentage of that if we want to. We don't have to do all the way to 1. We can do like 0.3, or we can also add the other parts on top of that. What just happened there? For some reason I got a little bit of an error. So we can actually, by doing this, have all of these different blends on this ball at once. And so it's a combination of all of these. It's additive. And so you can add and take away from any of this. Now sometimes this thing can be a little unwieldy to work with, so if we go to Window, Animation Editor, see Blend Shape Editor, and so this is actually just a way we can see our blend shapes a little more clearly, edit them, and we can also set keyframes on them to animate them. So this is actually how a lot of facial animation is done, but it's also a way that you can do some stuff that's a little harder to control if you are needing certain deformations to happen to your object. Now here's the really neat thing about this, is once these blend shapes are applied, you don't even need these in the scene anymore. You can still delete those, or you can delete those and these blend shapes will still work. Now I don't usually do that. Usually I hide them just in case I need to edit them, because let's say later I decide I needed some more changes to this, I can go in here and make those changes to it, and it will update in the blend shape here. You can also add new blend shapes if you need to, but you don't. That's a little bit more complicated. You just go to Edit Deformers, Blend Shape, and you have to add the new mesh. But having said that, it's a little more Yeah, it's a little clunky to do that. So I usually try to make a good handful of them to begin with. And I'm just going to delete everything and just kind of show you where this may be useful. Is, let's say you have um, an object here and you're wanting it to dent. Say somebody throws something at it and you want to knock a dent into it. Yeah. So we can do that very easily with this by just going through here. I'll make this a little higher, 20. Okay, and then I'm just going to duplicate this a few times. Okay, and maybe I'll go in here, grab this, and put a simple dent in it. Go over here. Maybe the next dent is a little bigger. Right, and then select them in reverse order. Select this one last. Create deformer blend shape. Delete that. And so now if a rock hits the object, knock a hole in it, right? This also helps for some people are using some of the flour sacks, and the more you animate on them, the more they kind of flatten out. And so sometimes you want to add a little bit more volume to it. You can just add this to the flour sack mesh. Just duplicate the original flour sack mesh in its original position, and add a little bit of a deformer on it to give it a little bit more volume. So hopefully this is helpful. It will cause you some problems. So if you do it sort of in the wrong order, or if you do it with other deformers, like which deformer is affecting it first, can be a little bit complicated. But if you start running into issues, just let me know, and I will. I can. You can send me the file, and I can work on that. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.